It's Sunday, so it is time for my mental health vlog. I hope you are all doing really well. I hope you've all had a good week. I am getting kind of burnt out. Work's been busy, lots of projects, that is good. And I've been working a lot of extra hours in here on my patches and embroidery and stuff. So I identified it this week that I was starting to get a little burnout, and I need to make sure that I'm taking the time off that I need. In fact, tonight I was going to work on some more patches, and I just decided I need to take a night off, because Monday nights and Tuesday nights I'm in here doing patches until like 9. Wednesday nights, that's date night. That's the night when my boyfriend and I commit to doing something together, even if it's just sitting on the couch watching a movie together. However, this week I had a release at work, so I had to validate, and I was in here again for a couple of hours on Wednesday night. Thursday nights I've got my meetings, and then after my meetings I've got fellowship with my friends after the meeting. And then Friday night, I have my son. So I go to Katie and watch him do Taekwondo for a couple hours, and then we come back here, and usually it's dinner and TV and then bedtime. And Saturday is usually doing something on the move, on the go. We had my son both Friday night and Saturday night this week, which was great. But I decided I needed to take tonight off. I'm literally doing this vlog and I'm posting it, and then my ass is moving to the couch, and that's where I will be until bedtime, because it was a rough week. Wednesday night actually did not go well, the release, and the developers are still trying to figure out what happened. It was another scenario where everything worked in the Q&A environment. We tested everything. Everything was great in the Q&A environment. And then we rolled it to production, and suddenly there's issues. And with the way that rollouts happen is the infrastructure team, they pushes the new package into production, and then they're done for the night. They disappear, which I don't understand, because if there's a problem and I want to back out that release, it should be an option as opposed to having to send 100 of apology emails the next day. So there were a couple things that were broken. We were trying to avoid having to put an emergency cab fix in, which we had to do a couple of weeks ago, a couple times in a row. And I was just like, I can't have my name going across the chief intelligence officer's desk again. I can't. So we did get one of the issues fixed. One of them is still being worked on, but they believe that we'll be able to get the fix put in this Wednesday night, fingers crossed. And then something in our QA environment broke. So all the other stuff that we're trying to validate to get ready for the next month's release, we can't validate. So it's been very, very frustrating, especially when it's all things that are outside of my control or access or knowledge. But because I'm the project manager, it all falls back to me. So not a great week. And a lot of people were out this week because of some conference in Chicago, I think. I don't know where it was. I wasn't invited. So a lot of people were out this week, so it also made it a blessing and a curse. It was struggling to get people to communicate that needed to communicate, and at the same time, there were less people to see the issues. So it was a give and take. But I'm definitely finding that I get more stressed out about this job than I have any other job with this company. And I've been with this company for 21 years. Crazy, right? Who does that anymore? I think I'm the last generation that actually sticks around at a job and will try and grow within the job versus job hopping for more money. I could absolutely be making more money if I hopped around from company to company, but I like to grow within. So it's been 21 years. Actually, here's the thing they sent me last year. Isn't that cool? It's got my name on it, it's got the company, and it's got their motto, and This was for last year. This year's 21. Friday night. Oh, Thursday night. Thursday night meeting was about the higher power aspect of the 12-step program, the God aspect of the 12-step program, which always makes me a little uncomfortable because I'm atheist and grew up with religion shoved down my throat, and I take a very strong stance with my atheism. But in order for this or any 12-step program to work, the importance of acknowledging some level of higher power is critical. So I have to think of it as forces in the universe that are greater and stronger than I am. So when I go through my program, I treat my higher power as the love and support of my group. That is my higher power. But anyway, it was a topic that as soon as I heard the topic, I just tuned out. I'm like, okay, it's going to be one of those meetings. What's on Candy Crush? And I do listen, and I that's part of the program, is listening to your peers and seeing how and hearing how they interpret things and adjust things and how they handle things. So I didn't tune out completely, because I don't. I do respect my peers enough that I do listen to them, and I hope that they listen to me when I decide that I want to share something, which I do quite frequently. But this was just not a topic I can get into. And there were a couple of people, there's actually several people in my group that feel the exact same way that I do, but they understand the need to have a higher power. I think along with those other people and myself, I just wish that the program didn't refer to it as God, because that comes with the connotation of the Christian God. And even all of our paperwork says God as you view God, as you see God, as you interpret God. Okay, well, great. Then let's just lose the word. That would make it easier for everybody. Not that I have any problem with people being Christian or believing in God, because everyone can absolutely believe whatever they want as long as it's not harming someone else. So I actually saw a funny meme this week that said that the phrase sweet Jesus also applies a bitter Jesus, a tart Jesus, a umami Jesus, a sour Jesus, all that kind of stuff. I thought was funny. I'm like, I think that the bitter Jesus is the ones that the Republicans worship. But sorry, trying to get too political on here. Friday, we had some struggles with my son. Everything was doing great. Came home from Taekwondo, had some pizza delivered, and he and my boyfriend were playing some video games, so it was getting pretty close to bedtime, and I had made the comment that you can play one more race, and then we're done. It's bedtime. You gotta get ready for bed. And my son, whether accidental or not, decided to, sorry, I can't say decided to, accidental or not, ended up in a new game, a new race. And I had already said, he's like, well, we can't do anything about it now. I'm like, well, yes, we can turn the game off. And then my boyfriend turned the game off, which sent my son into this really nasty spiral. He was super upset, and he's like, I'm never playing any games with you again. And stormed off to his room, and I let him kind of chill for a little bit. And then I started getting text messages, I hate myself, I hate myself, I hate myself. And then he took the time to write out a letter on a piece of paper that says, I hate myself a whole bunch of times. And it's like, I'm so sorry for the 9 years in this world that you've had to, to handle me and whatever. So I'm sitting in my recliner and I get this letter. And my first thought was, it's been 9 years. This is the first letter my son has ever written me. And it's this shit. So I was like, really? So I decided to take a tactic, and after I let him calm down, I took the letter and I went in there. I'm like, your penmanship's getting really, really good. We need to work on our Y's. We need to work on the difference between the capital D and the lowercase d and when to use them. I was trying to really kind of deflect from the negative connotation that was in the letter to kind of break down his defenses. And then I did discuss it with him about the letter, and it was actually a good opportunity for a good vulnerable conversation with my son once I got him calmed down. And Basically, he feels like he has stuff that he wants to say, but he's always afraid to say it because he thinks he's going to get in trouble, which is, always concerning. And I said, okay, well, if it's something that you're worried about, can you tell Papa? And he said, no. I said, okay, can you tell, my boyfriend? And he said, no. I'm like, okay, can you tell Daddy? And he said, no. I'm like, okay, can you tell Daddy's boyfriend? And he said, no. I said, okay. Then it sounds like Daddy and Papa need to find you somebody that you can trust and that you can talk to, because it's important to be able to feel heard and feel safe and feel trusted. And I hate that somewhere along the lines we have done something or said something that has made him afraid to be open and honest with us, when that is the one thing we've always preached with him. But he's okay with us finding him someone, and we had been talking about finding him a therapist again. And the school's actually also recommending a psychiatrist for him as well. So we're gonna do both. I don't think that comes with any stigma or negative connotations, because you all know, as you're watching this is the way that I deal with part of my mental health issues. I do this vlog, I talk about what's going on, and then I go back and watch them months and months later. So, huge advocate for mental health. And I'm absolutely going to have that same feeling when it comes to my son's mental health and well-being. I would expect him to get checkups up here just like he would from the doctor anywhere else on his body. So that is something we are looking at. But it was definitely, Friday was hard, because not only was I dealing with my son not liking himself, my boyfriend has had a couple of those days this week too. And I'm not going to go too much into that because that's not my business to spread around, but he's had a couple of hard days, and me trying to navigate those challenges with him and having to navigate those same challenges with my son on the same day, it was kind of exhausting, and it really tied into that burnout feeling that I've been having. And of course, when I mentioned this to my boyfriend, he was, I'm so sorry. And it's like, stop being sorry. You have feelings, you have concerns, everything's valid. I'm not invalidating those. It's just me having to navigate through them can be a lot. And I just needed to vocalize that, because it's been challenging, but light at the end of the tunnel. I think things are progressing in a good direction, and he's got some appointments coming up, so he's handling his issues, which is what he should be doing, which is great, just like I handle mine. I do have a meeting with my therapist this week, so I've been keeping a list of things that I want to make sure I check on them with. It's kind of like when you go to the doctor. They say make a list of all the things you want to talk to your doctor about, because when you get to the appointment and you're in the room with the doctor, and they come in and they have like 5 minutes to spend with you before they're done, it is so easy to forget the things you wanted to address. Talk about that weird mole, talk about the weird clicking sound in your shoulder, talk about the fact that I'm getting, reflux, whatever. Any medical thing, you make a list. So when you go to your doctor, you have the list so you don't miss anything. I think that's the same way that you should do with your mental health checkups, is make that list. This happened, this happened, this happened. I felt this way. This made me feel this way. I had a hard time processing this. Those are the things that your therapist will love you for if you come prepared with the things that you want to talk about, versus them having to drag stuff out of you like, so what's new? And your brain goes blank. It's like when someone asks you like what your favorite song is, and all of a sudden you can't think of any songs, like nothing. At least that happens to me. Maybe it's just me. I don't know. The hair is purple, all purple. It's the first time I've done all purple. I tried a different brand of color, and it turned out really, really light blue, like icy blue, like the color of these scissors, and it was just too light for me. So my boyfriend has some overtone, which is that wash-in color. So I tried that over the blue, and it turned out pretty. I do miss the teal, but and then I'm doing my nails now because I did have a friend of mine at my meeting on Thursday tell me that he loves the fact that I'm so bold. And that's actually one of the things I love about myself too, is I'm very bold with my self-expression. And usually I don't give a crap what anyone else thinks. I don't. We were walking in the mall today, my boyfriend and my son and I. Someone called us faggot. Someone called me a faggot. My boyfriend didn't hear it. My son didn't hear it. Thank God. But it hurt. I didn't know if my son had heard it, so I told him, I'm like, sometimes people just say mean things and they don't really know why. They don't really, it's just part of their own insecurities. And they were like, well, who said something? And that's when I realized neither one of them, I need to clip this hair. That's when I realized that neither one of them had heard it, so I just kind of let it go. 43 years old. I have been out of the closet since 1997. When I was 18 years old. I have been called a faggot 4 times. And those stand out pretty clearly in my memory. The only thing I could associate it with was if I were a person of color and someone used a very derogatory term to me. Not that I know how they feel. I will never know how that feels to them, but that's the only thing I could think that it might possibly be close to. So I hope the person deals with it with whatever insecurities that they're dealing with, but I wish that they would know that what they said really hurt. Can't change it. Can't do anything about it. Just have to process it and move on. Oh my God, I've been talking for 17 minutes. I'm so sorry, but thank you for sticking with me. So check on your friends, make sure they're doing okay. Check on your loved ones, make sure they're doing okay. Check on yourself. Take the night off if you need to. That is part of self-care. I need that tonight. So I am not going to turn my embroidery machine on. I am not going to turn my work computer on. I am going to post this video, wait for it to load, put it on Facebook, and then go sit my butt on the couch. And I will check with you guys next week. I love you all. Thank you for hanging with me. Bye.